Why can two photographers capture the exact same breathtaking wildlife moment, but only one creates an image that moves the world? On my recent workshop that I led, I saw talented photographers repeatedly falling into this trap. When I mastered how to avoid it, I was named one of Nature TTL's 15 photographers to follow, and my students landed features in National Geographic and hundreds of international awards. So in this video, I'm going to show you what this deadly trap is, the 3 critical things you must do to avoid this trap, and how one of my clients, Charlie, handled this trap to get an epic photo. I have a free PDF guide summarizing this video where you can download in the link below. So, what is this deadly trap? It goes like this. I was 10 years old. I had just finished reading one of my all-time favorite books, Monarch, the Big Bear of Talak by Ernest Seton, right here. And when I reached the final chapter, I couldn't breathe. Tears streamed down my face. It shattered me. I remember slamming the book shut, running into my parents' room, heart pounding. Mom, Dad, you had to hear this. Please, just listen. I sat them down and I began to retell the story, scene by scene, voice trembling, hands waving, heart wide open. And when I got to the ending, I looked up. Nothing. Blank faces. No tears. Have you ever poured your heart into something, shared a moment that touches your soul, and the person across from you didn't feel a thing? It's like a punch in the gut. You wonder, what's wrong with me? Or worse, what's wrong with them? I couldn't accept it. So guess what I did? I told it again. From the beginning, I poured even more of myself into it. More emotion, more detail. Still, nothing. In fact, they looked annoyed, like the story that had just changed my life meant absolutely nothing to anyone else. But here's the part I didn't realize back then. Years later, I found myself back in the same emotional trap. Only this time, it wasn't a book. It was my own photography. I would travel thousands of miles to capture incredible animal behavior, and I would come back thinking, this is it, and this is the shot. People will feel what I felt. I would post the photo, wait for the response, and get the same silence I saw in my parents' faces. No tears, just a polite, cool photo. And just like that 10-year-old boy, I would try again and again. More places, more sightings, more effort. But here's the thing I eventually realized. The key to truly connecting isn't just feeling deeply yourself. It's learning how to help others feel it too. It's about bridging the gap, inviting people into your experience and showing them why it matters. And one day, I came across this book, Story by Robert McKee. I just wanted to understand why some stories made me cry and others made me yawn. Why Monarch, the Big Bear, whipped me apart as a kid, and why my photo, despite everything I poured into them, still fell flat. And then I saw this line by McKee. A good story, well told. I read it again. Well told. Not just told. Not just, I saw this bear and it was amazing. Something clicked. For years, I thought if I just honestly showed the moment, people would feel it. And then if I capture it authentically, they would understand exactly what I felt. But honestly, without craft, it isn't storytelling, it's journaling. And I realized I wasn't storytelling, I was just documenting moments. No matter how expensive my gear was, I was journaling with a $14,000 lens. So the question became, what does well told even look like in photography? McKee said that for a story to move someone, the character needs a desire, and something must stand in their way, an obstacle, a challenge, something at stake. So right now, think of your favorite photo. What does the animal want? What's standing in its way? Is there tension, or is it just documentation? I look at mine and I couldn't answer those questions clearly. But McKee doesn't stop at conflict. He said if you want your audience to truly feel something, you need something else. Something Batman's mentor, the Liam Neeson character, taught him in Batman Begins. You must become more than a man in the mind of your opponent. You must become a symbol. He was talking about making a theatrical entrance, theatrical presentation, creating anticipation, awe, emotion before you even appear. And when I read that, I immediately thought of one of the photography moments. By the way, I have a PDF guide summarizing this video where you can download in the link below. It was the very last day of the trip. Bags packed, flight scheduled, torrential rain. We had exactly 1 hour left. I glanced at the group and asked, anyone want to go out one last time? Laughter. No way, I'm not getting my gear wet. I nodded, okay, I'll just go alone. And right then, from the corner of the room, a quiet voice said, I'll go with you. That was Charlie. No one knew it yet, but that simple decision to step into the storm when everyone else stayed dry was about to become his symbolic moment. In my mind, I was already building the scene. Storm and rain equals theatrical entrance. We stepped into the field with our guide. The downpour hammered our jackets, wind sliced sideways, biting cold. I could feel the wet mud on each step. Our guide scanned the horizon. Nothing moved, no shape, no sounds, just endless fog and relentless rain. And me, water dripped down my glasses. I wiped them, making it even worse. My hands were numb, my boots soaked through, and part of me thought, why are we even out here? But another part whispered something else. There's no office in the world that could give you that feeling. Cold, wet, and fully alive in the wild. Suddenly our guide paused, pointing into the distance. We followed her gaze, and there, movement, the curve of a back. A mother bear, nestled low in the tall grass. Then, 20 feet away, in a separate patch of grass, a second shape, the cub, also very low in tall grass. They were just grazing calmly. We photographed quietly for about 15 minutes. It was nearly time to head back and catch our flight. And then everything shifted. From the far edge of the meadow, a silhouette began to form. Heavier, taller, slow and deliberate. A male bear. I looked at Charlie and whispered, get ready. Now here's where storytelling meets technical vision. Because it wasn't just you lose the atmosphere completely, but at 200 of a second or below, the ring transforms from dots into lines, making viewers feel the storm, the cold, the tension. But too slow, you can't even get a sharp photo of the bear. That's the kind of choice that turns an ordinary frame into an emotional experience. Then I told him, there's only one perfect angle, one narrow window where the foreground is blurred and the background is dark enough to show the raindrop, and nothing distracts from the story. Because, think about it, when judges, editors, or viewers look at a photo, they are not looking for reasons to love it. They are looking for reasons to pass. Think of it like shopping for a giant, expensive TV. You don't say, wow, I love the screen. You say, only 3 HDMI slots instead of 4? I don't really like the stand. I'll pass. That's exactly how the brain works when the stakes are high. And in a contest, publication, or even social media, the stakes are always high. Right in that moment, it happened. The cub, nervous, sensing danger, rushed towards the mother bear. Rising onto her hind legs, she grabbed onto her mother's chest, tiny claws barely reaching around. Both turned, eyes locked onto the approaching male bear. And Charlie took this shot. That one frame captured everything. Conflict, protection, love, tension, the ring, and above all, story. That moment of the cub rising, we've all seen it in life, right? A toddler reaching up to their mother when they are afraid. That universal gesture. Hold me, keep me safe. It doesn't matter if you are a bear or a human. That image connected deeply. Charlie's photo went on to win several international awards. I still remember watching him accepting his award in a tuxedo, standing alongside some of the greatest wildlife photographers in the world in Italy. And I was proud, but more than proud, I was moved, because it took me a lifetime to realize this one simple truth. The exact same story, told by Ernest Seaton and told by a 10-year-old Tin Man Lee, gets completely different results, depending entirely on how it's told. Because how you tell the story, how you frame it, how you capture it and share it, determine whether people feel what you felt. And maybe, just maybe, Now that I finally learned how to tell it well, maybe I can show Charlie's photo to my parents. And this time, maybe they will feel it too. Happy Mother's Day to you all. But here's the thing, even the most powerful story can still fall apart if you make one of the 3 critical storytelling mistakes, which I called broccoli, chop, and sirens. In the next video, I'll show you exactly how to fix them and finally make your images truly unforgettable. And don't forget, I have a free PDF guide summarizing this video where you can download in the link below. See you next time.